Okay, class, so I asked everyone to grab one construction paper, and while you guys are still doing that, I'm going to explain the class schedule, and we're going to be talking about the theorist who's Thurtone, and we're going to have a class discussion with each other about that, and then I'm going to give you some time for the feedback papers. So with the feedback paper, I'm going to ask you guys to fold it hot dog style in half. And then on one side, it's going to be notes for yourself, things that you want to steal, things that I thought were interesting, things to go in your CCs. And then on one side, it's going to be constructive feedback for me. So at the end of the presentation, you can rip it and put them in a pile for me. So let's get going with Thurtone. Can I have someone volunteer to read the slide, please? Anna Laura.
Definition of intelligence. Intelligence, considered as a mental trait, is the capacity to make impulses focal at their early unfinished stage of formation. Intelligence is therefore the capacity for abstraction, which is an inhibitory process.
So this is a really wordy definition, so let's jump into it a little bit more. Ideas and interests. Someone to read this slide.
Made contributions to psychology, psychometrics, statistics, and the study of human intelligence. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Develop methods for scaling psychological measures, assessing attitudes, and test theory. And created the theory of primary mental abilities, which challenged the then dominant ideas of intelligence.
So if you guys can turn to your partner really quick and just teach them about some of Thurtone's ideas that he shared. Ready? Go.
Develop methods for metrics, statistics, theory of
dominant ideas of intelligence.
Okay, moving right along. The theory of primary mental abilities. Can I have someone read that top bullet point? Ryan.
Intelligent behavior is not from a general factor, the accepted belief at the time, but rather from 7 independent factors called the primary abilities.
So there are 7 abilities, which is word fluency, verbal comprehension, spatial visualization, wow, that was a mouthful, number facility, associate memory, reasoning, and perceptual speed. So I noticed while doing this, it relates to some of our past theorists in the past. There's some similarities and differences. So as a class, why don't we open up discussion and maybe throw out some similarities that you guys noticed to other theorists we've talked about.
Gardner had 8, right?
Yeah.
And so some of those seem similar, like spatial visualization could be the one that was, there was one that was more artistic, and then there was one that was like hand-eye coordination type thing. So that could go there.
And a difference I noticed with Gardner's was that these seem to be book smart, more related to like books and words and numbers, and where Gardner was more a wider range. Right. So there's definitely some similarities and differences. Anybody else?
Also, Sternberg, I think was one. And he had there was 3 types of intelligence in his. I think they were street smarts, creativeness, and analytical. I think for the 3.
Good. Good job. Okay, so Thurtone's findings. Someone, maybe we'll split this. The first 2, someone read the first 2.
Failed to find that the 7 primary abilities were entirely separate. He did find that intelligence was a general factor.
So it was from a general factor, like we learned earlier today, from the G. And he couldn't prove that they were all separate, but they all played a part together. So the next 2 bullet points.
In order to find a solution to his conflicting ideas, he rewrote the theory to include the common pool of mental energy and the 7 abilities. laid the groundwork for future theorists who found higher growth theories and theories of multiple intelligences.
Good. Yep, that's it. So if you guys want to take time to fill out the feedback forms, it'd be great.